Yes, friends of mine, this is a little presentation I decided to do for you. This is depicting a wedding ceremony, a civil wedding ceremony, that is, hear my words well, civil wedding ceremony, where the man in the middle, okay, the Caucasian man, the white man in the middle, is a civil status officer. How do I know that? Because according to the law of the land, only a civil status officer can marry a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. Okay, I'll explain a little later. So he is a civil status officer. Here's the woman, the bride, holding her bouquet, and you have another man, and the civil status officer is showing the other man, the groom, the ring. So they're about to a public exchange of rings. So in the way of the civil status, there's exchange of rings, exchange of vows, also signing of the register. They may have ring bearer, flower girl, matron of honor, best man, etc., etc., and of course signing of the register. So this is a civil status way. This is the legal civil status. You will not find it in the Bible. You will not find that type of marriage ceremony in the Bible. For matter of fact, there is absolutely no marital ceremony in the Bible. Yes, friends, there is no exchange of vows in the Bible. We never saw that. But this is the civil status. It is legal, where a civil status officer pronounces the man and the woman husband and wife, or man and wife, and he normally says, as a minister of the gospel, a civil status officer. So the most important thing there is he's a civil status officer, and he's about to join them both. So this marital ceremony is taking place obviously behind by the beach. You can see the sea at the back, so it's probably by the beach. This one is not taking place in a church, but I will soon show you where a female civil status officer in a church doing the very same thing. Okay, so this is a civil status way of marriage. It is performed in many territories. Governments agree with it, so it is legal. You could go anywhere in the world, well, most places in the world, should I say, and they will recognize these people at the end as husband and wife, man and wife. So this is the civil status way. This is the government official way. As I said to you, you would not see it in the Bible, but it is legal according to the state, the government of the land. Okay? Yes, folks, this is a second picture of a wedding ceremony. Again, civil way. The civil way of marrying a man and a woman. This time we have a female. You can see a female in the picture in the middle. She is a civil status officer likewise. And I think this one appears to be in a church, maybe in a church setting. So you may have it in different places. You may have it by the beach, at your home, in a church. But it's still, once you have a civil status officer performing it, then it is civil. All right, it is law. It is government. It is governed by the law of the state, the law of the land. So at the end of the day, she will ask them to exchange vows. In that case, they are holding hands, and apparently she's praying for them for the success of the union. So this is the civil status way of doing it. So in the first picture, you saw them by the beach with a man officiating. This one, there is a female officiating over this civil status way of getting married. Again, we have never seen this type of marriage ceremony in the Bible, in any scripture. We have never witnessed it. We have never read of it. So it is just law by the state. It is organized by the state. Okay? Yes, here again is another civil status wedding ceremony. This time you see one female in the middle and there are two males. Okay? Apparently she is about to read them the exchange of vows here. It may be performed in a lawyer's office. This one appears to me as if it's in a lawyer's office. So the woman there is still a civil status officer. She is most probably a lawyer, and she's about to join the two men together as whatever they will call it. I don't know what they're going to call it. But this again is civil status. This is law. This is the law of the land in action there. You could see it right there. You have never seen such things in the Bible, in no scripture. But here it is performed right there. I think it is legalized in some territories. Yes, it is legalized. But it is yet civil status. This is the state in action again in broad daylight. The state is she's a representative of the state, and she's about to join two men together in the same format we saw earlier. No difference, is just that it's just two men, but it's the same thing that is going to be performed there. As I said, these things are not found in the Bible, nowhere in the Bible, but it is legal among human beings at this present moment. Yeah, so she's doing her thing, and the two men are watching in each other's eyes. I suppose they are in love, and that's why they're here. They are dressed up in the suits, well clad, well prepared to be joined. So when they leave there, according to the law of the country, they will be living there as unionized, married. Yes, they will be married. Yes, folks, the civil status makes provisions for men to get married in this particular instance. Yes, once again, we are continuing with the program with the short presentation. Here, this photo signifies a church for sure. This is a church where you see the civil status officer. He's probably a reverend, a Catholic priest, I suppose. Here is the groom and here is the bride, and in this particular picture you can see on either side, on the man's side, on the groom's side, you will see his best man standing up right there, and on the bride's side you can see her matron of honor standing on her side. And of course you could see a few little pictures of persons. There are witnesses there. Yes, and the reverend or the priest, whatever he is surely a civil status officer. And the two people are looking in each other's eyes. They are madly in love, and that's why they are there to be joined. This is again civil status in action, the civil way. It is perfectly legal. They have made it legalized. So they have the backing of the law of the state, of the country. When they live there, according to the law of the land, they will live there as husband and wife. Yes? Yes, friends of mine, we have seen several pictures of the civil way of getting married, the civil status way, which is governed by the state. Here is a sneak peek of the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 23, 25. Okay? And now this is what I have realized is a joining of a man and a woman. And it is biblical. This one is biblical. And I have a strong belief that this is what those who got married in the Bible, they became one flesh. This is what they did, I believe. I strongly believe that's what they did. That's the only example we have found in the Bible, in the King James Version. I believe Abraham did it. I believe David did it. I believe Noah and all the rest. This is what they did. And here what it says, for those of you who cannot read or doesn't have good eyesight, it says, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Yes, friends, here you have it. This is the only example of a marital union taking place in the Bible. Yes, there is. This is the only example we have from the Bible / scriptures where the man is actually marrying the woman. If you read carefully at Genesis chapter 2, verse 23 to 25, you realize, King James Version, that the man is marrying the woman with those very powerful words. And I believe that Job, Abraham, Isaac, they all use that same process of becoming one flesh. And we also saw from the very Bible that a man had more than one wife. Yes, we did. Jacob had two sisters. He married two sisters. He worked for one for 7 years and he felt cheated, and he worked an additional 7 years for the one he loved. So he was actually married to two sisters. We have seen Abraham did it. David did it. David married Bathsheba when he had wives already. So we see from the Bible perspective that the Bible actually has accommodated a man having more than one wife. On the other hand, we realize the civil status way, you can only have one living wife. Okay? He only make provisions for one living wife. But we see that the Bible is different. The message that the Bible is bringing out to us, that the man can have more than one wife, and there is no officiating person. We never saw a prophet marry anyone. We never saw Jesus from the King James Version marry anyone. We never see Lot. We never see none of them having anybody, any high priest or any prophet joining them together. It was just the man marrying the woman. They use, in my way I see it, they use the very same words Adam spoke to Eve in the beginning, and it was sufficient to join in the man and the woman. As I repeat myself, the words Adam spoke to Eve was sufficient to marry them both. And the Almighty was present. Yes, he was present. He didn't stop the man. He didn't stop the woman. He didn't correct either of them. We see also, I think it was Abraham, one of them, they were going to the city, and he said to the woman, if the king asks you, am I your husband? Say no, say I'm your brother. And we saw how the Almighty defended him when he spoke to the king in a dream, telling him if he does not deliver the man his wife, he will kill him and his servant. So we see in the scriptures that the Almighty, he protects this particular joining union. He recognizes it. Even if the state, the civil status state, does not recognize it, the government of the states does not recognize the biblical way of unionizing. It does not show, they don't recognize Genesis chapter 2, 23 to 25. They do not register it. It is not according to the laws of the land. It is not legal. I repeat, according to the laws of the land, is not legal. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.